Favorite Special Forces raid. This is going to get me cancelled because it involves two places that I refuse to ever talk about, but I guess now I am. Israel and Palestine. Fuck. God help my social media career, but this is not about the present day. This is something that happened in 1976. A Palestinian group hijacked an airliner. It used to happen a lot in the 1970s. A famous one happened, I think they hijacked like 5 planes, took them to Jordan and started an entire civil war. Have a look at that. But this one, I think the flight was an Air France flight from Paris, or no, it was Tel Aviv to Paris, stopped off in Athens. It picked up hijackers they didn't know in Athens, and then it was taken to Libya to refuel, sent to Uganda, and Uganda at the time was under the dictatorship of Idi Amin. If you've seen The Last King of Scotland, he's a dude in that. They had about 300 hostages. They let non-Jews go, but obviously they kept the Jewish people. And Israel was like, what do we do about it? The whole world was shocked at the time. This is 1976, by the way. But this is why I like this raid. If I changed the countries' names in this to like the British SAS and Al-Qaeda, no one would have a problem with it. But the reason I like it is they flew an AC-130, a big gunship, 30 meters above the ground for 2,500 miles with 100 commandos in it and a exact copy of Idi Amin's presidential car. The plan was to just land at the airport, drive out, pretend they're the president of Uganda, take over the airport, rescue the hostages. Another plan was to like parachute into a lake filled with crocodiles and then hijack a plane themselves and take everyone away. That was a bit too crazy, only because of the crocodiles. But they did it, they landed, and the Ugandan forces there were helping the terror group at the time. And it was madness, really. Only one soldier was killed, Israeli soldier, 45 Ugandan soldiers were killed, and they destroyed about 30% of the Ugandan Air Force as well, so they couldn't pursue the AC-130. But they landed in the presidential car, got past some of the guards, and then all hell broke loose. They rescued, I think, nearly every single hostage. I think 3 hostages were killed in the gunfight. 1 hostage was taken to a hospital by the Ugandan soldiers and then murdered by Ugandan soldiers in retaliation. She was 74 years old. The nurses that tried to stop it were killed by the Ugandan soldiers. Any Ugandan soldier that survived this attack as well was labelled a traitor, conspirator. They were executed by the government regime. By the way, the Ugandan government killed hundreds of thousands of its own people at this time, and just chaos. And then they flew them back and saved them. It's just a mad story, the balls to do that. And the only Israeli soldier to be killed was Benjamin Netanyahu's brother. Now, I'm not talking about the modern day at all. I'm to do with this information what you will. I am horrified just as much as anyone about what happens presently. But this is history. If you're offended by history, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, this is history. This actually happened. And someone asked me my favorite Special Forces raid. That's the one, mainly just because of the AC-130 flying 30 meters above the ground and pretending to be a president and rescuing hostages. Absolutely madness. And there was the entire French crew was held hostage as well and saved. It's an Air France flight. That's my story.